So we just want to do a quick demonstration of our solutions. This is our 5th production tester. A production tester is generally used at the end of a production line where the thing is physically been made, but you need to program it, calibrate it and configure. So I'm just going to demonstrate this sort of fairly typical solution of ours. So this is our product, the HILTOP, built around the Raspberry Pi compute module. This is our jig called the JIGTOP. It's a generic testing solution, so you can swap in this board with any others and put in your pins as need be. It's all of this is done with FreeCAD for the hardware stuff and KiCad for all the circuit board design, based around the Raspberry Pi, so it's obviously using all open source software, Linux underneath. It's mostly Python with some C, depending on what we need. These are the Lottie cards, our open test modules. So each one of these has 10 ADCs that is sampling at 6,000 a second, giving you the average and the min and the max. It's also got Ethernet, which we need for some customer jobs, including this one, and lots of bits to turn on and off IOs. We also have some relays in there, and as this test runs, you'll hear there's a lot of relays. There are 2 Lotties in this instance, which is unusual, because one is for the card under test because it's got a lot going on, and one is for the jig because we just couldn't fit it all on one Lottie. So the interface, we use pretty much the same one for everything. It's all barcode driven, so the operator scans the barcode of the thing under test and then runs it through. I'll show you that in a minute. But we also have like hidden cheat barcodes to enable special features that most operators don't use. It's all deliberately as simple as possible for normal operators. So I'm going to put on the wrist strap, which is connected to the JIGTOP, and I'll get the customer's board. I'm not going to talk about their board because it's not my place to do so. So it's ready to go. So we're going to now barcode scan it. This one has been through before, but we're not going to look at its results, so we're going to say no to that. And that's going to say, is it in the fixture? So we're going to bring down this to do so. As you can see here, there's 2 bars across with all these clamps. Now these are all the plastic is printed with a 3D printer, with a Prusa 3D printer. The idea is that you can put as many of these as you need to hold your board in place, and there's many different bars. Obviously different boards need different pressure points and different points, but this is what this one needs. The other thing is this one, I've forgotten this step, I'll do it now, is this one needs Ethernet. So we'll connect it up to Ethernet and put it back down, and we're good to go. So let's hit yes. And then off it goes. Now it'll run through a series of test scripts. The test interface has 3 levels of information. I'm not going to show you a zoomed in on this because I don't want you to see the customer's tests and stuff, but essentially it's power test first, checking all the power rails. We exit immediately if it doesn't meet the right power requirements, and then it will be programming it over Ethernet. It's also talking over serial, because one of the things the Lottie cards provide is extra serial, so they're like multiple serial adapters. So the operator will see ticks and crosses, but there is extra levels of information. So if you hit I, you'll see the output of the test, so the test's output, and then if you're a debugger, someone particularly obsessed, you'll hit log and you'll see everything that's going on with all the timestamps. Most people don't need that, but it's very useful for debugging. All the results go into a database and all the logs. In this instance it's going to a MySQL database stored on the HILTOP, but generally it goes to a central MySQL database. But we operate in both modes depending on what's needed. Because we're just doing a demo, it makes no sense to have a central database. If you've got several of these at several stations doing several different test setups, you should have it in a central database, and that's what most of our customers have. Obviously then it's easy to back up. So yeah, that's it really. I'm letting it run through. Right, and that's now complete. So the operator would hit OK, and the results would then be in the database. And then they take the wrist strap back on, take the board out, and it can go in a good pile.